I'd say right around the time that I told you how I stopped doing so much athletics, I also left my work that I'd been doing for 17 years. Um, and I, again, I don't regret that decision, but it was a, it was, it's, so it's been challenging to not have, to have to, I feel like, choose between work and raising a family. Um, I was working up until my kids were, I think around 4 and 7. And then I decided I wanted to stay home uh, full time. And it was a big shift emotionally, not to have that identity that I had had. And I like to work. But now at this point, this is now about 10 years, coming up on 10 years later, I'm not really that interested in going back to any kind of full-time job, um, because I really value the time that I have. And I will say that I'm, saying that I'm very privileged. I'm in a very privileged position to be able to make that choice. And at the time I was as well. And not, I recognize not everyone has that privilege.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder how you think about um, whether you will work or what you're gonna do as your children get older and as they move out and stuff.
Yeah. So I kind of feel like in a way, I never really, I stopped earning income, but I never really stopped uh, working, um, because I started just being creating more things. So as soon as I stopped working full time, it didn't. I kind of shifted into this mode of. Um, I created the Women's Writing Circle, and then I started facilitating them, and then I hooked up with Suffolk, and so I've been there. And then during the pandemic, I started the Journal of Expressive Writing, and I've kind of shifted gears in terms of being able to do things that I can do while still prioritizing raising my children. So as now I have, next year I'm going to have two children in high school, a senior and a freshman. Um, and so I can very clearly see, it's not that far off that they'll be both out of the house and in college. Um, I don't see myself going back to working for other people ever again, but more continuing to create my own kind of thing, my own work, um, that may or may not be paid. So that's been a big shift for me over the last 10 years is what is work, and does it have to be tied to income? Because I've served on boards. I'm serving on a board right now. I do a lot of volunteer work, and so um, thinking about what's women's role, what does it need to be tied to money? Does work need to be tied to income? Has been a big shift, I think, for me in the last 10 years.